Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Pramananda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Pramananda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Pramananda. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you Prabhu for your service.
Thank you. Prabhu.
And let us welcome Vidya Mataji for today's bhajan. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna all devotees. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yeshode Nandana Brujajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Ananta Dev, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Vigna Vinasha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Bhaktavatsala, Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nita Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nita Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for your melodious voice. And Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us welcome Chandrashekar Prabhu for disclosure on the chapter 12, that is devotional service. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Let me share the screen.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita session. So today we are covering chapter 12, that is devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. So let us start with as usual with prayers so that we get mercy from Guru and Krishna. So fold our hands. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Let us offer our sincere obeisance to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, our Shiksha Guru Surnath Prabhuji, as well as Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yeah, so in chapter 11, which was covered yesterday, right, the universal form. So we understood how Arjuna made the request to show the universal form. And after this saying the universal form, what are the prayers of Arjuna, as well as how the universal form was seen by Sanjaya and Arjuna. We understood all of that, and how we can do the prayers through Arjuna, how we understood what are the right ways of doing the prayers and what prayers Arjuna was doing, and how we were able to see also the armed form and the importance of armed form, like how even devatas are actually waiting to see that two-handed beautiful form of Krishna, right? We understood all of this. And the takeaway was to engage in the devotional service so that we are able to see Krishna at the end of our life. We understand more through today's chapter, Bhakti Yoga, so which covers about Godhead, that supreme personality of Godhead, and the options, what are the options we have in the Bhakti Yoga and the devotee disposition. Right, so we can see that we are bound to this, how we are bound in this material world, and how important it is to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and take prasadam as a food itself, right? So if we control our tongue, it will control most of our activities, right? So it starts from there only. The kind of food we take, the kind of behavior we will acquire actually. So that's why it's important that we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which will burn our past sins. And also if we take the prasadam, so we will get purified ourselves. So both chanting and taking prasadam, both these two steps are very important to purify ourselves, right? And we'll go through a story which will help us understand like how by just simply talking, how we can acquire some unnecessary sins as well. Right? So once what happened, like there was a king like who was celebrating his birthday, and he wanted to provide food to entire kingdom, right? So even the animals, or whatever, even the smallest of smallest creature, he wanted to feed them. So that as part of his celebration of birthday, he was doing that, right? So people were coming from all around the places, and they were coming from morning till evening. Everyone was coming and taking the prasadam and going, right? And once had what happened like that, one of the brahmana was coming alone, and he wanted to take prasadam to his family. So he was carrying a vessel. Okay. So while carrying the vessel with the prasadam, what happens is above there was an eagle actually. The eagle was carrying a snake, that is that too especially cobra, right? It was carrying and flying, and the snake it wanted to get out of the clutches of eagle. It started biting, but it was actually spitting the poison. That poison actually falls into the vessel of prasadam that Brahmana was carrying, right? Without him knowing that. So it fell into that. And so as he was taking it to his entire family, once he reaches his town and after they take the prasadam, so all of them die actually, right? And when Yamraja comes, like actually it has to be given, right? The sin has to be allocated to someone, right? But in this case, the Yamraja was not able to conclude to whom it to be assigned, right? Because there is no fault of anyone's here. Like we cannot assign it to, he cannot assign it to king as well, because king is just doing his duty in a good with a good intention. So he cannot be responsible for that sin, that the killing of the Brahmana sin, that it cannot be assigned to king, right? And the eagle also it cannot be assigned, because its nature is to catch the snake and eat it, right? So even eagle is also not responsible for this Brahman Hatya, right? And snake anyway, that also got killed and died. You cannot even assign to snake also, right? And Brahmana's case, if you take, he also is of no fault. He was just taking care of his family. He was carrying the food, and he also died anyway. So it cannot be assigned to him also, right? All the family were dead. So in this situation, Yamaraja was not able to conclude, and he keeps this case as a pending, like in our courts also, right? So if there is no evidence, they will keep it aside, and it will be lying like that only, right? So same way here also, Yamaraja was not able to conclude to whom this sin has to be allocated, right? So they keep it aside, and after some days, what happens? One visitor comes to the kingdom. Actually, he wanted to meet the king. Okay, so while he was coming on the way, he inquires about the location of the palace. Actually, right, and he on the road there was a flower shop where one lady was selling flowers. So she was tying the flower and all. He comes there and inquires about the location of the kingdom. Okay, so he asks, like, where is the king's palace and all. So then what she says is, oh, that king who killed the Brahmanas by giving the poison, right? She simply says that way. Then at that moment, Yamaraja got to know whom this sin has to be accumulated, right? So we have also heard in Kannada actually. So Madador Papa, Adador Baile anta. Like that means, so the people who are doing the sin are different, but it will be assigned to the people who talk about it unnecessarily, right? So This is how careful we should have to be. Without knowing or unknowingly, we will get a lot of sins accumulated in our credit actually, right? So this is all because of unnecessary gossip, right? So we have to be very careful when we are talking about other people. You never know, because what are the laws of nature, like what Yamaraja decides, right? So you have to be very careful that don't do unnecessary gossips, like who did like this, he did like that, and this he should not have done like this kind of thing, because we never know which are there to be assigned, right? So there will be a lot of pending cases like this, and they will come to people who talk about it rather than who have done the who are part of the actual activities, right? So that's why, to avoid these things, what is the right way is to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? So chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra purifies us, and also it starts burning all the unnecessary sins also. Whatever the sins we have accumulated, it will burn that as well. And apart from that, if we take prasadam, it will purify us, like it will make sure that we are not get into, by nature itself, it will avoid that our involvement in unnecessary things, right? Unnecessary gossip, unnecessary things which is waste of time kind of thing, right? So our desires or our behavior will turn towards devotional service actually. So when we control our tongue with chanting and taking prasadam, so these two things itself will make sure that we ourselves automatically control all the unnecessary desires. Okay, so if you forcefully want to control, it is not possible. The only way is through the tongue, and that too through chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and taking prasadam, right? So with that, we will continue further. So acronym of today's class is God. It's a Godhead, which is explained through Shloka 1 to 7. Options available for us like 8 to 12, and the devotees disposition 12 to 20. So today's chapter, as we say, it's a Bhakti Yoga, right? So Bhakti Yoga, as we understood from the previous chapters also, right? So Yoga is the superior thing, right? So we know Karma Yoga is there, Jnana Yoga is there, Dhyana Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga, right? So people, there is option like you can come through all the steps, right? So anyone who comes through the Karma Yoga path, like he has to go through, complete the Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Dhyana Yoga. Then at the end of the Dhyana Yoga, he will realize that Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate thing. Whereas we, because Srila Prabhupada has already told us that Bhakti Yoga is the superior thing. You can imagine that. So all these four things are like a staircase to the top floor, to the terrace, right? Which is ultimate thing. But this Bhakti Yoga, doing Bhakti Yoga is like taking a lift directly, right? You don't have to go step by step through all the floors, right? You directly get into the lift and you are taken to the top floor, right? So Bhakti Yoga is like the elevator. So you can imagine that way. So you also know that in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to come through all that process, right? This Ashtanga Yoga, we know that how difficult it is, right? Even each step itself will take years together to perfect it, right? It takes a lot of practice and concentration, focus. In this Kali Yuga, it is not at all possible, right? So that is why Prabhupada has given us the simple way of practicing the Bhakti Yoga. It's like getting into devotional service through Krishna consciousness, right? So there are some very simple steps mentioned here, and it's very easy also, right? Only thing is just if you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and take prasadam, rest of the things will fall in place. You don't have to put extra effort to control things actually, right? We'll also understand more in this chapter what is the comparison of people who are worshipping impersonal form of God and who are worshipping personal form of God, who is Krishna. Right? We'll understand more further. Yeah, so Godhead. So here Arjuna is asking, Evam satata yukte ye bhaktastvam paryupasate ye chape aksharam avyaktam tesam ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? right? Here Arjuna is asking question to Krishna. So who are considered to be perfect? Those who are engaged in continuous devotional service of yourself, right? The personal form, or those who are worshipping the Brahman, the impersonal form Brahman, right? Who is unmanifested, right? So Arjuna is asking this question, right? So we know that there are three types of realization actually: the Brahman realization, the Paramatma realization, and the Bhagavan realization, right? So we'll see further explanation of that also, and what Krishna is answering to this. We'll see in the next slide. Okay, now to that question, Krishna is asking. Krishna is saying, Sri Bhagavan Maya Vesha Mano Ye Mam Nityayukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te Me Yukta Tamamataha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. So here Krishna is clearly saying that the one who is worshipping my personal form, right? So who are fixing their mind on my personal form means as if like a exact a person in person God is there, right? Who thinks that the personal form of God exists and who are engaged in worshipping me with great transcendental faith, and they have 100% faith in me, are considered to be the most perfect. So here Krishna is clearly telling, right? So impersonalists are not the perfect, right? So they are not dear to God. Like one who are worshipping his personal form, they are the perfect ones, right? So as I said, like, there are three realizations, right? The Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and the Bhagavan realization. So you can consider that there are two examples actually. One is it is compared like to a sun. Okay, so when someone sees the just light of the sun, they can say that like when in the morning, if you can see, if you're at home and if sun comes out, and you will see that the light is brighter, right? So when after just seeing the light also, we can say that sun has arrived, right? But actually sun is somewhere far away, but just by seeing the light we are able to see that say that sun has arrived, right? But whereas if you come outside and if you see the sun rays and all, and you can also see the surface of, like, if you see towards the sky, you can also see the sun disk, right? That is the surface of the sun you can see, right? So the first part, which where the just by seeing the light, what people are saying like the sun has arrived, means that is like a Brahman realization. It means that is like our understanding that we are not this body, we are soul, right? It is that level, right? The Brahman realization. The second part where people can see the surface of the sun and seeing that the sun has come out, right? So that is kind of Paramatma realization. So that means, so people who are understanding that Paramatma exists in all the living entities, he is sitting along with the soul in our heart, right? So that is the second level of realization. That is Paramatma realization. The third realization, the comparison is that actually if someone goes to the sun planet and gets into there is actually this earth planet, the sun planet is also there, right? So if you go to the sun and if you see what is there inside the sun planet and all of that, that is called Bhagavan realization. And so you are actually seeing the personal form of Bhagavan, right? So it is like that. So whoever is doing that kind of thing, so that they have achieved a Bhagavan realization, means going back to the Goloka, right? Where you can see Krishna in person, right? Like we see other human being, you can also see Krishna in person. So that realization is Bhagavan realization, right? So there these three kind of realization is there. Right. The another example you can take is compared to a train actually. So when you are sitting somewhere nearby a station, just by listening or hearing the sound of the train coming, we can say that train has arrived, right? The train is coming, right? And once so that is called a Brahma, that is compared to Brahman realization. Like you realize that the train has arrived, or you will realize that the soul is there and we are not this body, we are actually soul, right? And whereas if you see the train coming towards the platform, then you can understand that a train has actually arrived, and it is equivalent to Paramatma realization. And once train comes and it stops at the station, and you go inside the train and explore the train, how it is and all, what are the seats, how it is, what are the facilities inside the train. So when you explore that, that is called Bhagwan realization, right? So these three kind of realizations are there, right? And we now heard from Krishna that the worshipping the personal form, right? Personal form with 100% faith is the perfect thing to be done, right? We'll go further. Okay, so now here we can say klesho dikataraste sam avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham Dehavad vadvir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied, right? So here Krishna is clarifying further that those who are worship attached to the unmanifested, I mean the impersonal form, those who are attached to impersonal form and they are worshipping impersonal form, the advancement in the spiritual path is difficult. It is troublesome, he is saying, right? Because to make progress in that discipline is very difficult for those who are in the material world. That's what Krishna is saying. We'll also have a comparison of impersonal and personal form, and how difficult it is, and what actually they follow and what actually the personal worship devotees follow. We can understand that further here. See, so impersonalist and the devotees. Devotee is nothing but who is worshipping the personal form, whereas impersonal are actually meditating on the formless thing, right? If you see, the first item itself is meditate on a formless. They believe that the God is not having any form, right? And devotees believe that God is having a personal form like us, right? So they meditate on formless, whereas devotee meditate on deity form, right? So as we worship deity, right? So the devotees worship the deity form, whereas impersonate, they don't think there is any form. They just meditate without any form at all, right? And what they do is they control their senses, right? The forcefully they keep themselves away from the normal activities of, like, they don't mingle with the people, so they have to go to a forest where no one is there, so that they don't get distracted, right? So they have to forcefully control to be away from these sense enjoyment, right? So they go to a forest, sit in one place, they meditate by sitting alone and all, right? Whereas what devotees do is they engage the senses, right? So we, in Krishna consciousness, what we do is we engage our senses in the service of the God, right? So we use our voice to sing about Krishna, right? We spend our energy in serving Krishna by, like, cleaning the temple or cooking for Krishna, right? Cooking for the bhoga and then serving the devotees, right? We have so many devotional services so that we don't have to control our thing. So instead, what we are doing is we are putting our senses in the right direction. That is in the devotional service, right? We don't have to leave anything, and we are also doing our normal job work also. Only thing is we are remembering Krishna in that, and we are understanding how where we understand that everywhere Krishna is there, and everything is because of Krishna, right? And when we are doing our day-to-day activities, that as a devotee, we remember that Krishna is everywhere, and whatever is happening is to please Krishna or to uh, complete his responsibility, like whatever the responsibility he has given to us, we are performing that. With that in the mind and with Krishna in the middle, all the activities, we are engaging our senses, right? We don't have to leave anything, right? We are taking food, all the food, whatever is required, right? So we are also engaging in all the services that we do, right? So, but whereas impersonate is going away from that, right? So he has forcefully he has to keep himself away because he thinks that If he is with he is doing all these activities, then he is distracted and he will not be able to perform the impersonalist worshipping, right? The next one is understand the Brahman through Upanishad, learn Sanskrit, non-perceptual feelings, right? So he is going to understand about the Brahman through these Upanishads, and he has to learn Sanskrit and non-perceptual feelings. But whereas a devotee understand Krishna through devotional service by rendering Navavidha Bhakti, right? So there are 9 steps of Bhakti actually: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Padasevanam. There are so many. So 9 Bhakti. There is separate topic itself altogether. So like we have different levels, right, in our education. So in Bhakti also there are different levels, right? So the 9 ways of doing Bhakti. So in that actually Shravanam is the important, that starting point, right? Hearing about Krishna, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, right? So Kirtanam means doing Kirtanam. So like this, one after another, there are 9 steps. So by doing that, we understand Krishna actually, Navavidha Bhakti. And these are simple things, right? Nothing to get away from doing our activities. So while doing our activities, we'll be able to understand this Bhakti, right? So then if you see the comparison, like it is troublesome, right? So it is very difficult without being into any activities, and being in devotional service is difficult, right? Whereas here in as a devotee, it is very easy and natural, right? We are just enjoying what we are doing. It doesn't feel like we are doing any putting any extra effort to be a devotee. We are just doing all our normal activities, and we are being in association with pure devotees, right? We are actually week on week we are having that Sunday feast, love feast it is called. So where you are participating in cooking, you are able to enjoy the different varieties of food, right? You are dancing, you are doing kirtan. So if you visit on Sunday any ISKCON temple, you will realize that. Okay, please do that. Actually, take your time instead of going to a movie or anywhere. So you can start your Sunday by visiting the temple, and then later you can go anywhere. Like after 11:30, you will be free actually. By even yeah, most probably by 11 you will be done with that.
Hare
So please
Krishna.
visit ISKCON temple to realize and see that in person, right? How happy the devotees are, right? Whereas if you compare the impersonalist, so they don't have anything to enjoy there, right? So they are all alone by themselves. So they are away from all the people on the current world. So and how long you can think they will survive, right? So one day they will feel it. They have a intense desire to enjoy those things, and again they fall back actually, right? So that's the comparison. And now no relationship with the Lord. So there is no actual personal relationship when they are doing an impersonalist, because they don't have anything to connect to God, right? So there is no personal form they are thinking. Then how they will establish that relationship with Lord? It is not at all possible. But whereas as a devotee, you believe that in a personal form, and it's an intimate personal relationship, right? Because you are through this chanting, and also through this offering the prasad, like bhoga to Krishna, you are developing that intimate personal relationship, as if like you are when you are doing these activities at home. So you are feeling like some guest is there at home, right? You are taking care of a guest, like Krishna is your guest at home, right? So you have to treat that way only, right? So even if you are going away from home for a few days, so you make some arrangements so that Krishna has something to eat, right? You can keep some dry fruits so that he can. So you should not think that it is just a formality, right? You should treat that you are taking care of a guest, personal guest, right? So the most dearest guest is there, right? Or you can think of a friend. So there are different ways you can worship Krishna in 5 forms, right? There are 5 rasas, right? Shanta rasa, dasya rasa, sakya rasa, um, vatsalya rasa, and madhurya rasa. So in the way you are treating Krishna, accordingly you take care of him, right? So as a personal in-person person is there at your home, like that you are treating. So that definitely there will be a intimate personal relationship with Lord Krishna. But whereas in this case, there is no way that you can develop a personal relationship with Lord, right? And the next point is depends on our own endeavor, right? So here, it all depends on our own effort when you are doing worshipping as a impersonalist, right? Whereas here, Krishna delivers devotee, right? So here, we don't have to do anything else. We just have to surrender to Krishna. Krishna will take care of our desires. He will take care of our destination, right? Our job is only to offer pure devotion, right? So whatever Krishna has told, the different ways of things, so we just have to follow that, right? Chanting Hare Krishna mantra, taking care of like offering, preparing a prasadam for him, I mean the bhoga for him, and then just engaging in the decorating Krishna in the temples or serving devotees. So all these simple things we are doing. So we don't have to bother right now. We have to put any extra effort. How I can go back to Godhead, right? So Krishna will take care of that. So he knows what is the right time, and he will accordingly take us to him, right? So, and also here it's a partial realization, right? If you see, impersonalists will have only Sat and Chit, means they will not have that Ananda part. The blissfulness will not be there. They will have the eternal thing and the knowledge, but there is no bliss in that. Whereas here, complete realization happens. That is Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, right? So Krishna is a Satchitananda Vigraha, right? So Sat means eternal is there and full of knowledge. So, and full of blissfulness, right? So what happens in impersonate form is they will reach to the Brahma Jyoti, right? Which is effulgence of Krishna only. And they will be just staying there in the Brahma Jyoti as one, as a light, though they believe that they will merge with the light, or they think that they are merging with the God, but they are just like staying there in the Brahma Jyoti as one light particle. But when pralaya happens, again they have to come back, right? It's again temporary part only. And being there, they're not going to enjoy because there is no bliss there, right? So our tendency as a human being is to serve someone, right? Our tendency is to serve Krishna. Even in our material world also, we directly or indirectly, we are serving someone or the other, right? As I told the examples, if no one is there in the family, they will take a pet, right? Another dog or a cat or a aquarium to take care of the fish, right? So that when there is a tendency is to serve, you will not be able to stay longer in Brahmajyoti, right? Because there is nothing to do. So you imagine you are in a room, you are asked to stay there without doing anything. Will you be able to stay there for long? No, right? So after a few days, you want to come out of that. Same way, we'll come out of that and we'll come back to material world. Then again, you have to do the same, do the entire process once again, right? So now that we know that this devotional service is the right thing to do, and it will lead us to the complete realization, right? So what we have to do is just chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, take prasadam, that's all, and engage yourself in devotional service. So this is how is comparison of as an impersonalist and a personalist, right? And also you can think how logical it is, right? So when God has created so many things and God has created us who we are having a personal form, how come God will be without personal form, right? It's not possible at all, right? So when you say like you are able to produce kids because you are having a personal form, same way, when God is there, He is creating all these things. How is it possible without being a form at all, right? So that simple logic is there. So well, the person who is the energy behind all of this, then how come he will be without form? He will be having a form. So as it is said, like, if you go to Vaikuntha, you will see all the gods there, right? The Narasimha and all the Vishnu avatars you can see there. Rama also you can see, right? If you go to Goloka Vrindavan, you can see Radha Krishna there, right? You will be able to see them in person when you reach there, right? For that, we have to do a pure devotional service. We have to be a pure devotee, right? Without any desires. And if you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and the more intense you do the devotional service, the faster you will reach there, that destination, right? And once you start doing this practice, then slowly Krishna himself will reveal and give you the direction, right? You will be able to realize that. Yeah, so that's the comparison. We'll move further. So options, Krishna gives options to gradually grow, right? So the top first part is, the highest part is the mind fixed in Krishna will live in relationship with Krishna, right? So this is the highest way of going back, like the highest stage, right? Direct bhakti yoga, right? So if you're not able to fix your mind on Krishna, right? Then the second option is you follow the regulative principles of sadhana bhakti, develop desire to attain Krishna, right? So sadhana bhakti is nothing but chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, engaging in devotional service and all of that, right? So that's the next level. Even if you are not able to do that also, then Krishna is saying that work for Krishna will come to the stage of devotional service, right? You just do the activity like if you go to temple, like serve the food to the devotees, right? Help in making the arrangements in temple for festivals, right? So you can do some activities which are for Krishna, right? So that is the next level. Then if you are not able to do that also, then the last part he is saying is renunciation, cultivation of knowledge and meditation, purification, peace, gradual development. So like the last part is like even you can do the donation at least, right? So actually the donation, people will have an understanding that it is the biggest or the highest thing, like donating money to the temple or anything. So that is actually lowest, because it is that will actually help you to purify your money actually. But doing a direct service is more valuable than just giving money or a donation to temple, because you are offering yourself to the service, right? You are taking time of yourself to serve Krishna, right? That's more precious than giving some money to uh, take care of some expenses of this one, because that will anyway come by so many relatives, right? So these are the four levels, right? But once you get into any level, so gradually you will go to the next level, and ultimately you will reach to the level where you will be able to fix your mind on Krishna alone, right? At stage will come where you will be able to think of Krishna only, nothing else. So we'll take an example, a story here. So there was a Brahman actually, and they were about to. I told this briefly this story in one of the class. So where they were supposed to get their daughter married, right? And it was 3 4 days left to the marriage, and they had to do a lot of shopping. So the Brahmana's wife, what she does is he gives all the jewelry, so that whatever was kept for to take care of the expense to do the shopping and come back. So he sends his this Brahmana, you take this jewelry, go to the town, because they were staying in a village and all. So you take all of this and get the shopping done and come back. Okay. So he goes to the town there. He sees that there is a Bhagavatam Saptah going on, right? So usually Bhagavatam takes, like usually they conduct 7 days Bhagavatam Saptah to explain all what is there in the Bhagavatam. So Brahmana thinks there are still 3 4 days are there. So I'll attend one day Bhagavatam class I'll attend, and then I'll do the shopping and go back, right? So as he is a Brahmana and he is a pure devotee. And once he gets into this Bhagavatam class, so he involved so much into that, he forgets that he has to do shopping and he has to go back and get his daughter married, right? So he thought that he will come back after one day, but he doesn't even realize that marriage is there and all of the activities has to be done. So he continues there, and it takes all the 7 days. He will be there. He will stay there for 7 days, right? And after completion of that 7 days, he realizes that that he was supposed to go back, like after shopping, he was supposed to go back to arrange the marriage thing and all. So with that tension, he goes back. He covers his face, like because he is not sure what to say in front of in the village and also to his wife, right? He was scared actually. So he enters the village with his face covered with some towel or something. So he enters there, but as soon as he enters the village, people starts appreciating him actually. Like what a great arrangement you did. It was a so nice arrangement. It was never happened this way in our village. So you did all the arrangement very nicely. they start saying that he continues to go, and then when he reaches home also, even his family members, like his wife also says the same thing, like you did a great job. Everyone was very happy. The food was nice. All the arrangement was very good. So it was very nice arrangement, and marriage went very well and all. So he was shocked actually. How come this happened? Then he tells his wife that actually he was attending the Bhagavatam Saptah. I did not realize, and I continued to stay there for 7 days. How come this marriage happened? Where is my daughter? He was asking. She says like she's married and she already went to his husband's place. Then they realized that it is because of Krishna. Krishna actually in that time, during that time when he was listening to the Bhagavatam, he himself came and took the form of this Brahmana and did all the arrangements, right? So that's how it is. So when you are in devotional, that's why we say, right? If you surrender to Krishna, that is enough. Rest Krishna will take care, right? So as per, he will make those arrangements. Even if you are not able to do your those activities, if you surrender and you are into devotional service, irrespective of whether you are bothered of taking care of your regular activities. So if you are 100% involved in that, then Krishna knows that there are some things that needs to be taken care, right? So he will make those arrangements. So in this case, he personally has come, right? So if you are such a pure devotee, then Krishna will not hesitate to come in person to do that, right? So that's the power of bhakti, right? And when you surrender to Krishna, so you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about the future. What will happen if I lose the job? What will happen if I things will not go in this way and all? So you just surrender. So because we know that whatever we are supposed to get, Krishna has also said that. So whatever you are having, he will preserve that, and whatever you are lacking, he will give that, right? And whatever is supposed to come to you through your past karma, it is going to come to you irrespective of what you do or what you not do, right? So only thing here is if you have to surrender to Krishna, right? So if you engage yourself in devotional service, Krishna will take care of all your necessities, right? Because we are ultimately know that even if you accumulate a huge amount of wealth,
Hare
it is
Krishna.
of no use. Ultimately, you have to leave that and leave this body and go, right. You will not be able to carry that anywhere. But if you spend your time in devotional service, it will ultimately help in your next life also, right? So it will carry that forward, like wherever you are in this is this life, right? So whatever the level of bhakti you are doing, so in the next life, Krishna will make arrangement that you take birth in a good Brahmin family or a good rich family where you will not be bothered about the survival part. So you will be given opportunity to do more and more bhakti, because the ultimate goal of our life is to go back to Krishna, because because of our ego, we have come down to this earth thinking that we can enjoy more being separate from Krishna. We have lost that eternal connection with Krishna. He is our eternal father, right? He is waiting for us to come back, right? So he will take care of that. See, he is telling through this Bhagavad Gita that I am waiting for you. So when you realize that this is the truth, this is the ultimate thing, because he is the supreme personality of God. He himself had told that he is the supreme personality of God, and he is saying that I am waiting for you to come back. Then what else you are waiting for, right? We now know that see, there is no proof required for this, right? So he is the truth. He is told in the Bhagavad Gita himself, and so many people have also confirmed this, right? So Narada Muni, so many rishis have confirmed to this, right? You just have to trust Krishna, surrender to Krishna, worship him, go back. That's all. Our job is not here to accumulate or grow in the career ladder, like I want to become a CEO or like or whatever that, how you acquiring so many cars, acquiring so much of wealth, enjoying all this material pleasures and all. So it's all temporary, right? So if you surrender to Krishna, he will take care of those things anyway, right? Whatever is needed for us, whatever is good for us, he will take care of that. So the only difference of worshipping normal devotees, I mean demigods, is demigods will give what you ask, right? Whether it's good for you or not good for you, they will give everything when if you worship them. Whereas if you worship Krishna, even if you ask the unnecessary things, he will not give. If it is good for you, then he will give. That way. Like if you take an example of chocolates, right? So if a kid asks for chocolates to any shopkeeper, right? If he takes 100 rupees and asks for chocolate, shopkeeper will not think. He will take 100 rupees and give so many chocolates, whatever comes in that 100, whatever 50 or 100 chocolates comes in 100 rupees. He will give all those chocolates to that kid. But whereas imagine if that shopkeeper is his father, right? He will not give 100 rupees chocolate. He will say, take two chocolate. You eat today, tomorrow again I will give you two chocolates, right? Because he knows that having too much of chocolate is not good for the health of the child. Whereas demigods will not think of that because they say that this guy is worshipping me and he is asking for this, I will give. But they also will take a permission from Krishna actually. So what happens is when you ask for any desire to be fulfilled, so devatas will see what is there in your karma credit, like in the bank balance, whether the amount is there or not, they will check, right? They will check that. But what Krishna has planned is like he has planned to give that in the right time. But now we are desiring that in advance. Like when you are, you can also take your corporate life. Like sometimes people will take a salary advance, right? So you are getting in future, but you are taking in advance. The same way, Devatas will take check with Krishna whether this guy is having this karma credit. So Krishna says that okay, this is there in future. Then they will advance that. That's all. They will not give beyond what you are supposed to get. Actually, only thing they can prepone some things. That's all. If it is not there, they even demigods will not be able to give. Right. So that's how it is. So the ultimate thing is to develop the love for Krishna. And when you do that, rest of the things will fall in place, right? So we understand through this slide that there are four options of doing devotion, right? The last stage is to donate money, right? Then you can go by step, like you are doing some service, then you are doing the sadhana, practicing, like doing the chanting and all the things, you are following the regulative principles. And then ultimately you are only thinking about Krishna in all the things. Without Krishna, nothing is there in your life. That is the highest stage. Okay. So perfected devotional service. Maya eva mana adhastva mai buddhim nivesaya nivasisyasi mai eva ata urdhvam na samshayah. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. So here again, he is confirming. Just fix your mind upon me, with Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. So you use your intelligence and just for me, okay? And thus you will live in me always. So there is no doubt that you will live with me always. So this is what is Krishna saying. Sadhana bhakti, right? So sadhana bhakti is Ata chittam samadhautam na saknoshi mai stiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichchaptam dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Right. So here's one in each sloka. He is covering the slide that we covered actually. Right. So if you are not able to fix your mind, then at least engage in the sadhana bhakti, that is regulative, following the regulative principles like chanting and all. Right. So rules and regulations of bhakti, right? So process to purify the senses, right? By guidance of spiritual master, right? So it's important that we have a spiritual master who guides us in this bhakti, right? So spiritual master is nothing but one who is a part of a disciplic succession, right? That has come from started from Krishna, Narada, right? Brahma, Narada, all of that, and it has come through this Srila Prabhupada like this. It has to be the spiritual master has to be in that path, right? He should have been a disciple and he has a guru and he is following what the guru's instruction are there for him. So we should take guidance from such a spiritual master, right? And rise early, right? So in what are the rules of bhakti is rise early, because if you do the chanting in the this Brahma Muhurta, that is from say 3:30 to say 5:40 or 6 o'clock. If you do chanting in that period, so it is more effective actually, right? You will have a good concentration and your chanting will go very well. So that's why we need to rise early, right? So 3:30 or between 3:30 to 6 you need to plan rise, and so it may not happen suddenly. So you have to start by early, getting early, step by step. Maybe if you are now waking up at 7 o'clock, start waking up by maybe 6:30. You say practice that for a week, then 6 o'clock, then 5:30, then 5 o'clock. So like that. So and for that, what you need to do is first thing is you need to sleep early, right? So now by just to watch TV and IPL matches and all of that, you might be sleeping at 11:30, 12 o'clock, or maybe 1 o'clock in the midnight, right? So you need to stop that to get early, right? So because those are unnecessary. Now you saw, right? So it's all unnecessary gossip and all of that. There is no actual benefit to you in the spiritual journey, right? So you don't have to do all of that, right? So don't waste time in watching TV or Netflix or anything. So stop all of that. If you are doing that, do it before 7 p.m. or whatever, right? So by 9, or so first, like if you are sleeping now at 12 midnight, so that I might start reducing by 1 hour, like say 11 you target for 1 week, then 10 o'clock, then 9 o'clock. So by 9 o'clock, if you sleep, that is the right thing. So if you sleep 9 o'clock, and even if you wake up at 4 o'clock, also it is 7 full hours of sleep, right? For any human being, 6 hours is the minimum sleep is required. If you are tired and all, like 7 hours is good enough sleep, right? If you sleep beyond that, it is like you are into tamoguna, right? Some tamoguna has acquired you, right? So, and also the sleep quality is uh, best between 10 to 2 a.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., right? So if you sleep actually, if you actually sleep at 9 o'clock, between 9 to 12, that sleep is equivalent to 6 hours of sleep. Even though you are sleeping for 3 hours, the benefit of that to your body is equivalent to 6 hours of sleep between 9 to 12 midnight. And from 12 to 3, it is 1.5 times actually, right? If you are sleeping for 3 hours between 12 midnight to 3 a.m., it is equivalent to 4.5 hours of sleep. And if you are sleeping between 3 a.m. to 6 p.m., 6 a.m., that is 1:1. That is, you are just 3 hours of sleep. So that's why if you sleep early, you are actually having a very nice deep sleep. And between that 9 a.m. to 3 a.m., 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., so that's when the moon is very active and we get all our nourishments through moon itself, right? When you sleep during that time, then you will get the right benefit to your body. But if you are sleeping at 12 midnight or 1 o'clock, then the moon is not active there. Only 1 hour he will be there. So imagine what nourishment you will get to your body, right? So that's why. So this cycle is perfectly made. So Krishna has created everything perfectly. So our activities should be as per sunrise and sunset, right? So before sunrise starts, we should get up and do our activities and start our day. And by the time sunset happens, we should close our activities and go back to sleep, right? If we align ourselves to this cycle, then our life will be perfect, right? Then, yeah, so rise early, enter temple and offer prayers, right? And chant Hare Krishna, Mahamantra. So offer flowers to deities, cook for deities. So this is the regular schedule. This is the process, right? It's not difficult. You are doing these things, many of these things, just you have to turn the focus towards Krishna. That's all. So when you are preparing food, so when you go for a purchase to purchase the grocery and all, you have to think like you are purchasing for a Krishna, not for yourself or your family, right? So if you have that mindset, then definitely you are into Krishna consciousness, right? So you are in that path, right? You cook for deities, offer it, and then you take prasadam, and then constant hearing of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. So this is the process to be in bhakti, nothing more, right? These are simple. And even if you take any successful people in the material world also, like for example, Akshay Kumar is very popular, right? So he is successful and he also doesn't go to any party and all. If you see, he sleeps by 9 o'clock and he wakes up by 4 o'clock, right? So many people have told this in many occasions, right? That he is doing all of this, right? So successful people always rise early because they know the value of time, right? And they know value of the morning period where the focus will be good and they will be able to, there will be a lot less no disturbance at all, right? So they'll be able to peacefully focus on something very important and they get their work done, right? So even in material world, it will help you if you wake up early, right? In the rise early is helpful. So that will set the rest of the things, rest of the day activities in the right way, right? And when you rise early, you will feel that towards evening, you will feel that you have done all your work, but still there is a lot of time left, right? And that too, especially you can observe yourself when you rise early and do the chanting, your time, even though we have only for 24 hours, you will feel that time has increased actually. So you might feel that even though it is 24 hours, you have got 30 hours or 32 hours because you have done so much of work in that entire day by rising early, and still in the evening you will find time for reading this Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Still you will have time for that, right? That's how, because Krishna reciprocates, right? When you are doing it for Krishna, even though we don't realize that, even though it is 24 hours only, you will get a mercy of Krishna and the time will increase for you actually. You can experience that. You can do that for some days. You will realize that definitely. Okay. Yeah. So, and what is the qualification for doing all these things? Anyone can do, right? And what are the results? Surety of love of Godhead. If you follow these things, simple things, you will definitely develop this love for Godhead, which is necessary for us to go back to Krishna, right? Karma Yoga, right? So if you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Right?
Hare Krishna.
So this is for people like who are not able to practice Bhakti Yoga. So you just do the Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is nothing but doing as per scriptures, whatever is mentioned as per scriptures, the activities, you just have to do those things, right? So it means by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. So step by step, you will come to the Bhakti Yoga. So if one cannot follow the regulative principles also, then engage all external senses in working for Krishna. Work for Krishna benefit. You will come to the perfect stage, right? So, so involve anything that is like, say, if there is some festivities at a temple, go there, do the arrangements, right? Serve people for the food, right? So that's all. Like you can just manage the crowd there. So anything that is related to Krishna, you can do these external things actually. So give up the results. Okay. So if, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated, right? So you just have to give the results. I mean, you surrender the result to Krishna, right? You don't think of any specific result. You just do your duty. That's what he's saying. And on the right side, you can see, so if you uh, like you can see in the picture, right? So that lady is giving the fruits to Krishna, but in return, what Krishna has done, her that that the vessel, or we can say the butti in the Kannada we say, right? So that is filled with all the jewels, right? The diamond, gold, and diamond. So that's, you can think, if you give 1 rupee or 100 rupee to Krishna, he will reciprocate in a million times of that, right? That's why you don't hesitate in offering your service to Krishna, because he reciprocates. There is also one story I'll tell you. So one person was completely in this material pleasure actually. He was always enjoying the life. He was spending all his time with the ladies, like the prostitutes and all. He never did any service to Krishna actually. But once what happens, he was spending time with the prostitutes in river, and he was playing with the flowers. He was putting flowers on those prostitutes. So one flower by mistake falls down into the river and it flows. He sees that and says, Krishnarpanamastu. That is the only thing he did in entire life, right? So when he dies, when he goes to the Yamadharma, right, and then he takes the record of what he has done and what punishment he should get, where he should go, and all of that. So that Chitragupta, when he sees his records, he says that so he has to go through all the narakas, and in his credit he has only 1 minute he is allowed to stay in heaven, right? Rest all he has to spend in all the narakas. Okay, so he has so many punishments waiting for him, and he has 1 minute to enjoy in the Swarga, that is heaven. So now Yamadharmaraya gives the option to him. So where you want to go first? So you want to go to all the narkas and then you can come to heaven to enjoy that 1 minute. So or you want to go to Swarga first? Then this guy, he says that he wants to go to the Swarga because he realized that by just doing that one flower, Krishna Arpanamastu, offering it to Krishna, he got 1 minute of Swarga. So he says, I'll go to Swarga first and then I'll go to Naraka. So what he does is when they take him to he send the Yamadutas take him to the entrance of the Swarga. And when he goes there, he says that he sees that there are Parijata flowers, right? They are more auspicious. And what he does is he takes the sword that are there with the Yamadutas. He cuts all the Parijata flowers and keeps saying that Krishna Arpanamastu, Krishna Arpanamastu, Krishna Arpanamastu. He offers all the flowers that are there at the entrance of the heaven to the uh, Lord, right? And by that only then Yamaduta says that your 1 minute is over. So when he gives that back, and now they take him to the Naraka place, right? So when goes back to the Chitragupta, when he says where to send him, he is astonished that all the list of Narakas he was having, right? So all are disappeared now, right? Then actually he will be sent to heaven only, right? There is nothing because he took that 1 minute opportunity, right? That 1 minute of time in heaven, he utilized it for offering the flowers to Lord Krishna, right? So that way, so if you offer your belongings to Krishna, like even if you take the example of money or your personal time to Krishna, he will reciprocate it in millions of times, right? So don't hesitate. And don't think that you are helping Lord. Like even you are, suppose you are donating some money to the temple for some annadana or something. Don't be understanding that you are helping the temple to take care of food for the devotees and all, because whatever is there with you is belongs to Krishna only, right? You are just giving part of that to purify the rest of the amount that you have with us. So like for if you're giving 1,000 rupees, so that giving 1,000 rupees will purify the remaining amount that you are having with you, right? So and also Krishna reciprocates. So whatever you are giving, it is reciprocated in millions of times, right? So you don't even have an imagination of how Krishna will reciprocate, right? So just surrender to him. Think that whatever you have it belongs to Krishna, and as Krishna is there to take care, right? So you don't even bother, right? What happens in the future and all. Don't think of that. Just surrender. He will take care. So don't think of the results, right? So in the picture you can see, right? Just against the fruits, she gets her jewels and all, right? So there are so many things. So I think running out of time, we'll continue further. Yeah, devotee's disposition. So you can see in this picture. So Draupadi, right? So when at the last moment when she remembers Krishna, so Krishna is there to help her, right? So like this. So for pure devotee, Krishna comes himself in person, right? That's assurance that Krishna gives. Even in case of Sudama, right? So he actually gave so much he came with a bunch of poha actually, and he offered that to Krishna, and in return, by the time he reached back his place, he was having his palace, his home turned into a palace, right? He was having all the luxuries of life, right? So qualities that endure one to Krishna. So if you surrender to Krishna, he will take care. This is the best. These are some of the examples, right? So qualities that enter one to Krishna, right? So attitude towards oneself, dealing with other living entities, reaction when things happen to them, right? Dealings with the Lord. So these all qualities will determine how Krishna reciprocates, right? So you should treat all the living entities equally, because as a Paramatma, he is residing in all the living entities, right? And how you react to things when it happens to you, right? So as a devotee, if you are there, then you will accept everything, and you surrender to Krishna, right? And as you see, Krishna will bless us like he is blessing Srila Prabhupada, right? And because of because of blessing of Sri Krishna to Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada has struggled so many years in spreading Krishna consciousness. Towards the end, he got the success, right? Just because he was not thinking of results, he was just doing his duty, what Krishna or his Guru has told, and then ultimately he got the mercy of Krishna, and he was able to do so much of things, or create so many temples in just short span of 12 years, right? So you just have to follow these qualities. Yeah, attitude towards oneself, right? Nirmamaha, free from sense of proprietorship. That's what. So you should not think that you are owning anything, right? And free from false ego, knows that I am not the body, right? So we are just a soul, right? So we are not this body. So remove that all false ego, right? Gata Vyataha, so pain free, and Sarvarambha Parityagi, so free from all endeavors, right? So you just don't have to get attached to anything, right? This should be the attitude of us, right? And then ultimately Krishna will help us dealing with other living entities, right? So non-envious, kind to everyone, so equal to friends and enemies, right? Udasina, without cares, always free from contaminating association, right? Silence. So these are the dealings that you need to do in your day-to-day life, so that you are you are following a Krishna consciousness or a path of pure devotee. Reacting to situations, right? So person who is satisfied, okay, like self-controlled, completely perfect, mystic, tolerant, right? Equipoise, where if you see here, neither rejoices nor grieves, no over material gain or loss, right? Yeah, if you see here, the left side is for the satisfied, where the right side is for the devotee, actually, right? So when something is achieved, so the person who is not in Krishna consciousness, he is satisfied, right? Whereas on the right side, if you see, neither rejoices nor grieves for material gain or loss. Like he'll behave the same way even if he is successful or he is a failure, right? So even if you gain something or lose something, as a pure devotee, your behavior will be the same, right? Whereas the person non-devotee, like he's self-controlled, completely perfect or mystic, he thinks that everything is in his control, right? Whereas pure devotee, he doesn't laments or desires for anything. Like he just leads his normal life. So the satisfied person is a tolerant, but whereas the devotee is a transcendental in face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful acts, right? So he thinks beyond the material world, equipoised in happiness and distress, right? Equipoised in dualities. Yeah. So unapexa natural and does not care for any residence, right? Daksha, expert, Suchi, pure, right? So you can see here the differences. Dealings with the Lord, right? So determined, mind and intelligence fixed entirely on the Supreme Lord, right? We understood all of this. Engaged in devotional service, fixed, right? So if you are determined and your mind will be fixed to the Krishna, right? So just only thing is to engage in devotional service and have continue to do chanting and take prasad. These things will ensure that you are in the devotional service. So becoming very dear to the Lord. How you can become dear to the Lord, right? So those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with the faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me, right? So is again and again Krishna is telling that those who follow this devotional path of devotional service path and who completely engage themselves in faith. So it means basically you need to have a trust on Krishna and faith on Krishna, right? And the who makes their supreme goal as himself. The Krishna is the supreme goal, right? They are very dear to Krishna, right? Krishna is telling who are very dear to him, right? Yeah, so that's the essence of this chapter 12, right? So we understood what is the difference of worshipping in personal form, worshipping a personal form, right? So what are the devotional service of perfect devotee, and what are the different ways of going into the path of reaching the ultimate, right? You can do a karma yoga, you can follow the regulative principle, and you can be a pure devotional, pure devotee, right? So, and what are the behavior or the attitude of devotee? We understood, like attitude towards oneself, dealing with others, right? Reaction when things happen, the good or bad, right? So the ultimate thing here is to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, okay, and take prasadam as your food all the time. Start with the one time, then gradually practice that so that you eat whatever you eat is only prasadam, right, which is offered to Krishna first before you eating that, right? If you follow that, then definitely all the things will be taken care because tongue is the starting point. So if you control tongue by chanting and by taking prasadam, then all your desires will have a right thing. I mean, you will have a right desires with the mercy of Krishna. So Krishna will take over of your desires. He knows what is good for you. If you don't purify yourself by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and eating the prasadam, then obviously you will have all the material desires. You want to enjoy the material pleasures, right? So to avoid that, you don't have to forcefully come out of those things, right? There is a simple step. What is that? Chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, like rise early and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and then take prasadam only, and then engage yourself in. So association is important, right? So if you can remember that ABCD once again. So A is for association of pure devotees, right? So the more time you spend with the devotees, you have less chance of distracting yourself from the devotional service, right? Because when you are with the devotees, you will be discussing about devotional part only, like okay, how many rounds of chanting we did, at what time you woke up, so what did you read today, which book you read from Srila Prabhupada, and how many chapters of Bhagavad Gita you read, how many times you have read Bhagavad Gita. So you'll discuss about pastimes of Krishna because you are in the among the devotees, right? So where you are there, so you will be like that only, right? If you have an association of a drunkards, you will also feel like drinking only, even though you are not drinking. After some time, by seeing them, so yeah, everyone is drinking. I also shall start drinking. If you are staying with the smokers, then after some time you will also start smoking, right? So like that, you are if the devotees, then you will also become a devotee, right? So we need to wisely choose where we are, right? So association is very important, right? Then book reading, right? So you just have to read something about Krishna, right? If you are not or if you are bored to read a big Bhagavad Gita book, then you can take smaller books which are actually extracts from Bhagavad Gita only, that based on different topics. Prabhupada has created small books which will take hardly few hours to complete those books, right? They're small, 20, 30 rupees, 40 rupees books are there on different topics, right? So those you can say. And then third is C is for chanting. So A is for association, B is for book reading, C is for chanting. So chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? That will also cover like the chanting. You can say kirtan also you can do, right? You can sing also. You can use some instruments to support the kirtana, like mridangam, kartara, harmonium. So whichever you like, whatever is your passion towards, you can choose that. So then you will start enjoying, right? You don't have to force yourself, right? So you can either chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you can do Kirtana, okay? You can, if you are good in preaching, you can preach about Bhagavad Gita, right? And the last part is worshipping the deity and having a right diet, right? And right diet means having a prasadam only, right? So if you follow this, then definitely you will be into devotional service, right? And you believe that Krishna is there and you are worshipping the personal form of Krishna. And one day you will be able to see Krishna yourself, right? So that's the essence here, to be in Krishna consciousness. So what is there for tomorrow? Tomorrow is chapter. So today is the end of Bhakti Yoga, right? And tomorrow onwards we will see Dhyana Yoga. Because the Bhagavad Gita 18 chapters are divided. First 6 chapters Karma Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. The next 6 chapters are for Bhakti Yoga. That's chapter 7 to 12. And from 13 onwards, you will have Dhyana Yoga, right? So wise questions, items of knowledge, soul and super soul, enlightened. We'll see all of this in tomorrow's chapter, right? Please attend the quiz to get the certificate. Let us end today's session by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So again, you can see the more evidence. Kali Santarana Upanishad. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Sodaksakam Nam Kali Kalmasa Nasanam Nata Parataropaya Sarva Vedesu Drishyate. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These 16 names composed of 32 syllables are the only means to counteract the evil effects of Kali Yuga. In all the Vedas, it is seen that to cross the ocean of nations, there is no alternative to the chanting of the holy name, right? So again and again, through so many scriptures, it is proved that, so it is recommended that beyond this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, there is nothing else. There is no alternative to chanting of Hare holy name to cross this Bhavasagara, that is this material world, the suffering of this material world, let's say, to escape out of this cycle of birth and death in this Kali Yuga. So Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the only way, it is the only solution, right? So that's why it's important. Yeah, Lakshmi Nrsimha from our temple, HBR temple, Gandharvika Giridhari, SPR ISKCON temple. Any questions we can take? Please raise your hand. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful session. And it was very nicely explained. Bhakti is very simple. Just chant and take prasadam. Start with that, and you will progress in the bhakti. Any questions, dear devotees?
I had just one question.
Yes, Mataji.
Like in the example that you were giving, just by one Nama Japa, a person can attain Krishna, and it was an easy path for him. He didn't go through Bhakti Yoga, he didn't go through. But for others, it's such an art thing. Like you have to go through janmas together to understand God. Just thinking from the end, like when I was listening to the story, at least I have Krishna Pranamastu. I might have at least 10 some 100 times or 1,000 times till date. So I know that is not enough. So just thinking from that perspective, like why is it like for some it is easy and some it is difficult? Is it because like the one namam that he said was also with that level of devotional service that it got God into his like God helped them? Or like just to understand, like when we just chant the name or do the service, is it enough? My devotion, is it enough? Like there's no gods, right? So just thinking from that end, if you had any
Yeah.
thoughts on.
Actually, Krishna is very merciful. The smallest of thing that you offer to him, he will reciprocate in this one. So even it is not, it was also difficult for that guy also, right? So he had only 1 minute of heaven time, and rest all was for Naraka. But he wisely utilized that 1 minute to use that 1 minute in Sarga to offer it to Krishna. Then see, there is a difference of time also, right? You can see in the 1 day of heaven is like years in our planet. But if you are now one flower was offered in earth, got him 1 minute of heaven time, but he's offering in 1 minute of heaven time so many flowers. So that's why he was able to eliminate all the narakas or the accumulation of sins that he had got, right? So it is a Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. The amount of your surrender or the level of intensity that you surrender, accordingly you will get the results. It is not that one will get higher partial. He will see the bhava. So he will not see how many rounds you have done, but he will see what is the quality of japa you have done in those rounds, right? So when you are doing chanting, it is very important that you listen to each and every word when you are chanting. The more you listen to that, the more better the quality of the chanting is. So just by seeing the TV, if you're doing chanting, you are hardly out of 108 times, you are just hardly listening 4 or 5 times, then the reciprocation will be accordingly. But even if you're doing, instead of doing like say 4 rounds, if you're doing only 1 round with 100% focus, the quality is better and you will get the reciprocation accordingly. And it also depends on what you have accumulated throughout your past lives. So that will also determine how fast or how soon you will reach Krishna, right? And what you are doing in this life to burn those things, right? So the more and more chanting you do, it will burn all your sins. And he sees the bhav, actually, the intensity with which you are surrendering to Krishna makes the difference, actually,
Okay,
right?
got it. Thank you. Yeah, one other question that I had when you said about Surya, there is a Surya Loka. Is that the Goloka or Goloka
No,
is
no, no.
different than the
No,
Surya?
Brahma Jyoti is actually effulgence of Krishna, like the sunlight only. So I gave the comparison of Surya with the realizations actually, right? So we have 3 realizations, right? Brahman
Yeah,
realization means understanding that we are not this body, we are soul, right? Paramatma realization is that we should know that each and every living entity, Paramatma
is
is staying there in their
Brahman.
hearts. So that's the second realization. Third realization is that Bhagwan exists as a personal form, right? So understanding of absolute truth, that's the
Universal.
absolute truth that Krishna is there in person. The one who realizes that, that is the Bhagwan realization. So these 3 realizations I compared with the sun actually. So people
Okay.
who just see the sun rays, it is Brahman realization. People who see the surface of the sun, the disk and all of that, that is Paramatma realization. And a person who actually goes to the sun planet, the fire there and the inside, what is it? Actually, like Earth planet, sun also is a planet. Like you can see the living entities there. Like fish is staying in the water, right? When we see the sea, ocean, don't see any water bodies. If you go inside the ocean, we are able to see different kinds of fishes are there, different creatures are there, right? So same way, if you go to the sun planet, you will have a living entities there also who have got a body which is suitable to live in that fire, right? So there also the life is there actually. So that's there. That's what. Hope it is clear now for.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Now,
Any
other
other question, devotees? Okay. Any devotee want to chant tomorrow? Swapna Mataji, you missed today. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, my Zoom didn't
Yeah.
work when I was
No worries, no
trying to
worries.
log in. I can do it tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mataji. If no questions are there, we'll chant once Hare Krishna Maha Mantra before we.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Chandrashekar Prabhuji, life is there in Surya, Prabhuji? सूर्य
Yes.
planet?
Yes, yes.
अच्छा.
All the planets' life is there. Yeah. But we are with our limited ability, will not be able to see that.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So let us chant once Hare Krishna Maha Mantra before we end the session. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री राधा माधव की जय, श्री श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण डियर डिवोटीज, यू कैन से हरे कृष्ण एंड लीव द सेशन। हरे कृष्ण सपना माता जी, हरे कृष्ण वसंता
प्रभु,
माता
हरे
जी,
कृष्ण
मंजुनाथ
माता जी।
प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण प्रकाश प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण विद्या माता जी, भार्गवी माता जी,
हरे
ललिता माता जी,
कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण
प्रभु।
किशन
हरे
प्रभु, हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
माता जी एंड प्रभु
विद्या
प्लीज।
माता जी, बीना माता जी, हरे कृष्ण पार्वती माता जी, हरे कृष्ण नयना माता जी, हरे कृष्ण जय भारती प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण सुमा माता जी, श्रेया माता जी, हरे कृष्ण सत्य प्रकाश माता जी, नवीन माता जी, हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण प्रभु
पुष्पावती
जी,
माता जी,
हरे
हरे कृष्ण
कृष्ण।
सुजीत कुमार प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण ज्योति माता जी, हरे कृष्ण उमापी माता जी, हरे कृष्ण प्रदीप प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण चित्रलेखा माता जी, सिंधु माता जी, हरे कृष्ण ममता माता जी, हरे कृष्ण श्वेता माता जी, तृप्ति माता जी, हरे कृष्ण चंद्रशेखर प्रभु,
अतुल
हरे
प्रभु,
कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा चंद्रशेखर
माता
प्रभु,
जी,
हरे कृष्णा किशन प्रभु, हरे
Krishna
कृष्णा विद्या माता जी, नलिनी माता जी, हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण
हरे
Hare
can
कृष्णा।
I
Krishna.
end the session?
प्रभु
Hare
हरे
Krishna
कृष्ण
to all
माता जी,
devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
हरे
एवरीवन।
कृष्णा।
Hare
यस
Krishna.
प्रभु,
Hare Krishna.
थैंक यू, हरे कृष्णा।
Yeah, I am
Can end
ending
the
the session.
अरे કેટલો જુએ તે ચાલી બાઉલ કાઢ્યું.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I am
Yes.
ending the session.